The wind howled through the desolate highway as Lisa adjusted her rearview mirror.
It was nearly midnight, and I'm still a good hour away from home.
She had stayed late at her friend's house, losing track of time while reminiscing about college days. Now, the long stretch of road ahead of her seemed eerily empty, devoid of the usual late-night travelers. The road twisted and turned through the countryside, flanked by dense woods on either side. The only sound was the hum of her engine and the occasional rustle of branches swaying in the wind.
Let's turn up the radio to break the silence.
But static crackled through the speakers. Confused, she fiddled with the dial, but every station seemed lost in the void. Then she saw it. A figure on the side of the road, barely visible in the dim glow of her headlights. It was a man, dressed in tattered clothes, his face obscured by shadows.
What should I do? Should I stop?
Lisa's heart pounded as she slowed slightly, unsure if she should stop. Before she could decide, the figure suddenly twitched and took a step toward the road.
Oh no!
Panic surged through her, and she pressed down on the gas, speeding past him. As she glanced in the rearview mirror, her breath caught in her throat. The man had turned his head to watch her, but his eyes, hollow and dark, were locked onto her car, unblinking. Shaking, Lisa tried to dismiss the encounter as some drifter or a lost traveler, but the unease in her chest grew heavier as the minutes dragged on. Every now and then she stole glances at the mirror, half expecting to see those haunting eyes again.
Get a grip, Lisa.
Then, something moved in her peripheral vision. A shadow darted across the road ahead, too fast for her to make out its form. She slammed the brakes, her tires screeching against the pavement. Heart pounding, she scanned the road but saw nothing.
Just a deer.
She whispered, trying to convince herself. She took a deep breath and continued driving, her grip tightening on the wheel. But the eerie feeling wouldn't leave her. A few miles down the road, the headlights of a car appeared in her rearview mirror. At first she felt relief. Finally, she wasn't alone. But then she noticed something strange. The car was gaining on her fast. Too fast.
What the?
The blinding high beams reflected in her mirror, making it impossible to see who was behind the wheel. The vehicle swerved slightly, its engine growling like some mechanical beast. Lisa's hands grew clammy as she increased her speed, but the other car matched her pace. Then just as suddenly as it appeared, the car veered off the road and disappeared into the woods. Lisa blinked, her breath shaky.
No skid marks, no sign of the car. It was as if it had never been there.
Lisa swallowed hard. The highway stretched endlessly before her, the darkness pressing in like an unwelcome presence. She focused on the road, counting the seconds, hoping to see a familiar landmark soon. Then, she heard it. A faint whisper. At first, she thought it was her imagination. But then it grew louder. A raspy, breathy voice that seemed to come from the back seat.
Don't look.
Lisa's entire body stiffened. The voice was right behind her, too close. She couldn't breathe. Her hands trembled as she forced herself to keep her eyes on the road. A cold gust of air brushed against her neck. Then, something touched her shoulder. With a scream, she swerved off the road, her car skidding into a ditch. Her head slammed against the steering wheel, sending stars exploding in her vision. Dazed, she fumbled for her phone, her fingers numb and shaking. When she dared to look up, her blood turned to ice.
A figure stood right outside her window, its face pressed against the glass.
The hollow-eyed man. His expression twisted into something inhuman, a gaping smile that stretched too wide.
Lisa's scream died in her throat as the window shattered and everything went black.
Lisa woke up in a hospital bed, her head wrapped in bandages. A nurse hovered over her, relief washing over her face as she saw Lisa awake.
You're lucky. Someone found your car in a ditch early this morning.
Lisa's mind raced. The man, the whisper, the shattered window.
They said you were alone, but you kept mumbling something about someone in the back seat.
Lisa's blood ran cold. The memory of that night clawed at the edges of her mind. She turned her head slowly to look at the chair by the window.
A single handprint smudged the glass from the inside.
If you enjoyed this terrifying tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more spine-chilling horror stories. Have you ever experienced something unexplainable while driving alone at night? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, when the road is empty, you might not be as alone as you think.